Alrighty, so I'm gonna get started now. Thank you everyone for coming, although let's be honest, you've been staying here for like 30 minutes already. This is a quick presentation on High School 101, a guide for both students and parents. This is mainly meant for 8th graders who are gonna be transitioning to high school next year. And I've made this presentation under the belief that we won't be having COVID next year and we won't be having virtual school next year, but it applies whether you're entering virtual or regular. Okay. So in case some of you guys don't know me, my name is Ganga Prasanth. I'm currently a senior at Round Rock High School, and I will be attending UT Austin this fall. So I won't be in high school anymore, but I can still give advice. Okay, so about the transition. Before I go into depth, feel free to ask any questions as we go, and put it in the chat or unmute yourself and ask the question, and I'll answer them to the best of my abilities as I go through the presentation. If one of your questions are already in the presentation, I'll make sure to let you know too. Okay, so let's jump right into it. So freshman year, that's what a lot of you guys are going to be experiencing one day, whether you're an 8th grader, 7th grader, anyone who's not in high school, you will be a freshman one day. So freshman year may seem kind of scary to some, but to others, it feels like it's a rewarding feeling. When you're in your first year of high school, you can use this time to explore as many of your interests as you can, as you have all the time in the world. Like when you're a freshman, and many high schoolers say freshman year is like their best year. So during this time, make sure to join as many clubs as you can, take classes that you really love, and don't be afraid to make new friends. The key to surviving your first year in high school is confidence. You have to be ready to mingle with anyone and everyone and say anything in order to be successful. Introvert or extrovert, I'm telling you, knowing how to communicate with people can be really beneficial to you overall, especially when you're in your first year. So I'm going to go into depth on what coursework is like, because I feel like that's a question that a lot of people have, because let's be honest, high school classes are kind of scary, right? I mean, you don't know what to expect. So I'm just going to go into depth on what this is like. And let me just. Okay, high school courses. Before I go into depth, I do want to get some things clear. If there are any parents listening, I want to remind you not to choose your child's courses for them. The whole point of high school is about independence, and you have to let them choose their own classes. You can still guide them towards the right direction, but you can no longer hold their hand in the process. This is your kid's time to shine. And for all the students out there, make wise choices. Do what you can, but make sure you're challenging yourself too as you choose classes and stuff. Don't feel pressured by like parents or teachers to take certain classes unless you feel like you're ready for it. That being said, again, don't forget to challenge yourself. It's a really critical step to take. So how to choose courses. So at the end of 8th grade, if it hasn't happened already, your counselor is going to give you a set of courses that you can take in high school. You will have to take certain courses for all of high school in order to actually graduate. So some of the courses that I personally recommend taking all 4 years of high school includes at least 4 years of English, 4 years of math, any kind of math, 3 years of science, 3 years of social sciences like history, 2 years of language, and 2 years of visual and performing arts, which is more of the fun classes, but it's still important to take in order to graduate. Taking all of these classes throughout the years will prepare you well for the upcoming 4 years. But for now, just focus on like getting all those graduation requirements finished. Advanced and tag courses. As freshmen, you're allowed to take both advanced courses and tag courses. I'm sure a lot of you guys are already in the TAG program. And honestly, it's a great advantage when you're in elementary and middle school. But if you guys are not in TAG, you can still take advanced courses, because once you're in high school, they pretty much combine the people who are in advanced courses and TAG courses together. So TAG kind of gives you that title, but if you really do want to challenge yourself, you can still take advanced courses and get leeway off of that. Not to mention colleges do see it. So when colleges see that you're challenging yourself, they really like it. So I highly advise taking as many advanced courses as you can. Personally, because I don't see a big difference between regular courses and advanced courses. Like, the coursework is about the same. It just has a scary title to it. But in reality, it's basically like any other class. However, if you do feel overwhelmed by it, make sure you know your limits, and you can always talk to your counselor, who's going to be your best friend, okay? You can always talk to a counselor and see if you can switch out to a regular class if you feel like the homework is too much or the pressure is too much. Okay, now we're going to go into AP courses. And I'm sure that's a scary word to all of you guys. If you have older siblings, you've probably heard the term AP before, and you're like, oh my God, what is that? So as a freshman, you will be able to take AP classes. So these classes are meant to mimic a college standard education, and it can be really rigorous and fast-paced. Anyone can take an AP course, but you have to remember that a lot of it is independent work. Like, you won't be having a teacher holding your hand the entire time. And the course is very structured. So during May, you'll have the opportunity to take something called an AP test, and that's administered by your school. And if you pass it, you will receive college credit. I highly advise you to take AP classes if you can, because getting this kind of credit can actually help you move forward in the future, like especially in college. Not to mention, colleges like it when you challenge yourself with AP courses, just like with advanced courses. Most freshmen will be able to choose to take either AP Human Geography or AP Computer Science Principles, or that's what it was in my school. It might change if you go to a different school outside of our ISD, but most schools offer AP classes. I see someone in the chat. Is it not all 4 years of science and social studies? 3 years enough for each. So in terms of graduation, you don't need 4 years of science and social studies, especially social studies. I know a lot of people who, well, actually that part depends on from school to school, but your counselor will go into depth. But what's recommended is taking at least 3 years of each. Yeah, I can go more into depth on that at the end too. There we go. Okay, when choosing AP courses, please choose them if you're actually interested in learning the material. If you choose an AP class for only the credit, you may end up doing badly in the class and eventually drop it. It's better if you take AP classes that you know you can do well in. So I advise you to check something called College Board, so that you can see what classes you do well in. Also, going off of that, what I mean by like you might not be interested is that I actually have a couple friends who joined computer science, not necessarily because they wanted to do computer science, but because they wanted the AP credit. But when they actually joined the class, they realized how much they weren't suited for learning computer science, and they actually ended up dropping it. And really, it could put a lot of pressure on a person, which is why I don't recommend just taking courses on a whim. So take it only if you actually feel like you want to learn about it. I mean, that's a big highlight. Okay, the difference between an AP and an IB, that's a great question. The thing about IB courses is that there right now, I know 2 schools that offer it, Stony Point and Westwood. And IB courses are basically, it stands for International Baccalaureate, And it's a little different from AP because you don't have a test at the very end of the course. It's basically like an advanced course that keep going for the entire year, and it's starting to get more and more recognized by a lot of colleges. In terms of if one is better than the other, I can't really say. I haven't personally taken any IB courses, but I do know some people who have taken IB courses before. And from what I've learned, it really just depends on the person. I can't speak on behalf of IB courses, but I have heard that a lot of people prefer it to taking a test. So if you're someone who doesn't want to take tests, then I would definitely recommend taking IB if you can. The advantage of taking IB or AP courses. Well, for one, it can help you earn college credit, and you'd be surprised by how advantageous that is. Because if you have AP or IB courses, when you actually get to college, they will see this credit and they'll say, okay, this person passed this class with a 5. A 5 is like the highest you can get for an AP class. And after they see that, they'll say, okay, this AP credit is the same as this college class. So we can give an A for this college class for this kid, and they're one step closer to graduating from college. I know some people who have taken enough AP classes to go from 4 years of college to 3 or 2 years of college. So it can really help. Oh, okay. So IB over AP or vice versa. Why pick one over the other? That's really just personal preference. I believe counselors will go over like which one's better, but usually you pick one or the other because colleges focus if you stay on track with one specific course. So if you're like switch between AP and IB, it's not really going to work out. But if you choose either AP courses or IB courses, it's easier for you to get that credit and move on. Yeah, I can go more into depth at the end for those questions. Okay, endorsements. I can't speak for every high school in Texas, but some high schools offer something called endorsements, which readies a student for a future career. You may have heard about this before, or this might be the first time you're hearing about it. Okay, I put 5 choices. I meant 4 choices. There are 5 choices. I forgot to include one. So the 5 choices are business, health science, public service, STEM, and the one I forgot was performing arts because that's kind of considered an extracurricular. Students can aim for more than one endorsement if they choose to, and oftentimes you have to stick with one of these programs for 3 years. So you have to choose wisely. So you'd have to talk with your counselor for more info on each option. I'm actually gonna drop something in the chat right now. It's like a booklet explaining exactly what endorsements are, because there's a lot when it comes to learning about endorsements. Multidisciplinary, yeah, that's like, it's like a graduation plan. There's like a lot of options, and honestly, it gets kind of confusing and even overwhelming. I remember trying to choose my endorsements, and it gets a little hectic, I won't lie. But once you choose one of these career like courses, you just stick with it and you go with the flow. Yeah, so I really recommend reading that booklet when you have the time, not right now, because it gives you a good insight on what you can expect on endorsements. And also remember, endorsements isn't the world. Like, it doesn't mean a whole lot. It's just for graduation. So if you do health science, but later on you're like, oh no, I wanted to do business, it's not gonna hurt you to change it. You just have to have 3 years worth of endorsements. So you might have to stick to one of them for 3 years, but it doesn't mean it's gonna determine your career for the rest of your life. So don't take it too seriously. Okay, so right now what I have up here is a sample freshman schedule. This is somewhat similar to the schedule that I had my freshman year. So for instance, you might be taking an advanced English, advanced geometry, and advanced Spanish too, but you might choose to take regular biology because you realize that science isn't your strong point. And the next year, like sophomore year, you can take AP biology instead if you feel like you actually like biology. With that, you can see two AP classes, AP Human Geography and AP Computer Science Principles, which is actually considered an endorsement under STEM. So it's the only endorsement that has an AP involved in it. So something to keep in mind. And then you can see for period 6, it's tennis. I didn't take tennis, but I thought it was a good example. In period 8 is beginning orchestra, which can count as an endorsement as well for fine arts, because you do need at least at least 2 visual and fine arts credits. Okay, now I'm gonna go into depth about what extracurriculars are like. Okay, so as a freshman, you will have an opportunity to explore many different clubs. I know some of you guys may have explored clubs already in middle school, but you can think of high school clubs as a step up from that. So when you're a freshman, please, please, please join as many clubs as you please. I recommend being a part of at least 2 clubs your freshman year. It's because being in a club can really help you form new friends and find a community, like a close-knit community that you can learn to love. And you gain a lot of life lessons along the way. So when you're actually looking for clubs, and your school will help you like actually find a club, you have to look for things that you're actually interested in. So if you love arguing, because we all love arguing, guys, you can join speech and debate. If you want to help the community, you can join the student council. And if you like to do art, there's an art club. If you like anime, there's even an anime club. It's great how many clubs are available for us as freshmen. And I say use it to your advantage. Don't be afraid to like join something just because your friend's not doing it, because honestly, I'll be honest, that's like the biggest mistake. Don't join a club just because your friend's doing it or because your friend isn't doing it. Join it because you want to. So there are going to be a lot of club opportunities, but if your school doesn't offer a specific club you're looking for, then you can make your own club. For instance, I know there was a kid in my school who wanted a club dedicated to Pokemon, and obviously that wasn't a thing. So what did he do? He made a Pokemon club. It's possible. You just have to talk to your counselor and your school, and you can see what your school's process is. When you're in a club, take full advantage of it. Don't slack off. I made that mistake. I still regret it. Don't slack off. Finding your passion can also become useful if you would like to practice your leadership skills. So if the more involved you are in a club, the more passionate you get, and the more likely you are to like actually put that passion to use through leadership. So after freshman year, you can start running for different officer positions like president, VP, secretary. You guys just came from an election, so you know what I mean. And you can gain more hands-on experience with delegation and quick thinking. Not to mention, the colleges do love that leadership position, but please don't do it for the college. Do it for yourself. Do it because you want to and you love your club. So this is a list of common extracurriculars. Some of that includes student council, DECA, speech and debate, Model UN, Girl Up, Key Club, marching band, orchestra, choir, Red Cross, HOSA Club, creative writing, and cheerleading. Honor societies are also a thing, but they're not typically meant for freshmen. It's usually something you can join your sophomore or junior year. So don't be stressed about honor societies just yet. Like even for National Honor Society, I know there's a National Junior Honor Society, but in high school, National Honor Society isn't a thing until your junior year. I've been in a couple clubs like these. For instance, I was in student council, and the kind of people you meet are people that you stick around with for like the rest of your life, and you really learn a lot of lessons along the way, which is why I'm a big preacher of joining clubs and extracurriculars. Sports and dance. If you don't do clubs, you can also commit yourself to be a part of a sport or a team. So sports and teams are another great way to be part of a really close-knit family. You often find lifelong friends there. Like if you thought that being in a club makes close friends, being in a sport is like finding a family. It also gives you a chance to move your body and stay physically fit. So I definitely recommend that you try joining a sport such as swimming, tennis, soccer, or cross country, so you can get a feel of being active every day. So don't be afraid to take risks, and it's your chance to try new things. Same applies for dance. I didn't put it here, but same applies for dance. Some of the people that I've seen who do dance, they really do find people that they stick around with for like lifetimes. Like there's like a certain kind of bonding that you get with sports and dance that you just don't get from clubs, because you're around these same people so often that like if you're looking for a sense of like community, this is the place to go. Okay, I'm gonna go a little bit in depth about student life, because what's gonna happen when you get there. The next couple of slides is based upon the hope that virtual school isn't a thing next year. Hopefully it's not, but this should give you a good overview of what you could expect, assuming that we don't have virtual. So in terms of friends and peers, I don't care if you're an introvert, an extrovert, an ambivert, a unicorn, I don't care. Everyone has to try to make new friends during freshman year, okay? I mean, that's like, if there's anything you take away from this entire presentation, make new friends, okay? This is why I want you guys to join clubs, but also take a chance to be more active in the classroom, ask questions, introduce yourself to new people, and you'd be surprised by how much you have in common with others. I know it's scary, but trust me, everyone around you is just as scared as you are. Okay, so you're not alone in this. Form your own groups and really have fun. Like high school is a time for you to not just study, but to also like really explore yourself and find your identity. When choosing friends, make sure you choose people that you feel safe and happy around, and not those who pressure you to do bad things. Because yes, groups like that exist. But you are all good kids, so I 100% trust you'll know how to make the right decisions. So I just wanted to like give that tiny little disclaimer just in case. But yeah, really take that time to network out to everyone. Be a nice person. Don't be rude. Okay, be good people. Okay, awkward moment. The truth of the matter is, you go to an American school, and in American school, dating is very prevalent and it's very real. And so is PDA. And there is no denying that you're going to see some of that in high school. Personally, I recommend that you stay away from dating as a high schooler, because let's be honest, teenage emotions they go crazy. Even in middle school, they go crazy. Okay, I'm sure everyone knows at least that one boyfriend, girlfriend that broke up and got together and broke up and got together, and it just goes insane. But right now, it's best that you just form a sense of self and learn to love yourself before loving another. Okay, you're going to form crushes in high school. It's a guarantee. Okay, and remember, it's natural. Okay, just know your boundaries. Remember that most relationships don't actually last in high school. So like whoever you're chasing after, he or she might not be worth it. Remember that that getting into a relationship is only going to cause you stress when you could be focusing on your future and on college. That being said, if you see someone dating or doing PDA or whatever, don't try to like discourage them because no one's going to appreciate that. Just trust that they'll know to make the right decisions. But right now it's a time to focus on yourself and focus on you. Like really just focus on you and focus on what you need, not what somebody else needs. You don't need that stress, trust me. Also, I'd like to mention that you should ask for help. Never ever be afraid to ask for help when you need it, whether it's your teacher, your guidance counselor, or a friend. Like me personally, I've sent like at least 10 to 15 emails to my counselor. And I know it seems like a lot, but trust me, it's their job. It's their job to help you and make sure you're on the right path. So whether it's an academic question or a more personal one, make sure you find someone that you can trust and talk to and ask them any questions you may have, no matter how stupid it may seem. Because teachers and some students are here to help you. And they're not going to just like leave you on your own to fend for yourself. Like that's not how school works. So yeah, again, key takeaway, ask for help when you need it. Don't be scared to do so. Okay, a little bit about orientation and first day. This is once again assuming that we're not going to go virtual this year. So your school may provide an orientation so you can get acquainted with the school. So I know it can be a little scary to be in a new building and stuff because new rooms are tricky, but remember that you're not alone in this. Like there are going to be like hundreds of freshman kids just like you, just as lost as you, trying to navigate the hallways. This is also when you usually receive your ID, a textbook, Chromebooks, registration papers, whatever else your orientation may have. It's personalized to each person, honestly. Either before or on the first day of school, you will receive your class schedule. If you see anything wrong with it, make sure you let your counselor know right away because teachers will be happy to help you navigate the school. And I highly recommend asking teachers for help and not students because students get irritated very quickly, especially on the first day of school. And there are some people out there who will purposely try to trick you into going into the wrong building. So just to be on the safe side, you should probably ask teachers for help when you can. Okay, if we have a question, will you, okay, I'll be sending a link to these slides, so no worries over there. Okay, so do's and don'ts for the first month of high school. So do please be prepared for school with school supplies and your schedule. Don't be that person who asks for a pencil from someone else on like the first week of school. Like nobody likes that person. Okay, be prepared. Make sure you're challenging yourself mentally and physically, whether that's through like sports and activities or like AP courses. Challenge yourself. Don't push yourself over the limit, but push yourself at the limit and make sure you're really putting yourself in away from your comfort zone and in a more radical zone. Be friendly and polite to everyone. I've had a lot of upperclassmen complain before how rude freshmen can be, and that's not every freshman. I've met lots of freshmen who are super friendly, super polite, and if you can be one of those people, a lot of the upperclassmen are really going to appreciate you and even become your friends. Don't bring a roller backpack to school. Like I cannot emphasize that enough. If you did it in middle school, whatever, but if you do it in high school, people will bully you. Like nobody likes roller backpacks. It becomes a hassle, not just for the student, but also for the students around them because you can trip really easily on roller backpacks. It's really hard to carry around. Stairs are a thing. Just don't do it. Don't do roller bags. Don't be dismissive of other students, especially if they're asking you questions or asking for help, because that's your chance to make new friends. And if not, that's a chance to seem polite and like a nice person. So don't be dismissive of them. And don't take the easy way with easy classes. Like I have a friend who's done that before. She took like all easy classes all 3 years, and now she doesn't really know how to deal with college classes. So taking the easy way can often deter you from actually challenging yourself. So don't recommend that. College. Okay. If anyone has any questions about college, I just want to let you know, freshman year is not the time to be thinking about that. College is literally 4 years away. I didn't even start thinking about college until like the last months of my junior year. Okay. Rather, your freshman year is a time for you to find yourself and find passions that'll help you get into college. So before you decide whether you're going to Harvard, Yale, Stanford, whatever, focus on your grades first and your clubs and your friends. Okay, they're what's important, not some random college that you saw one YouTube video about. Try to maintain all A's and B's throughout your freshman year and adjust your schedule if it gets too hard. Find yourself, not something else. Find yourself first. College is a long ways away. The most you can do as a freshman is plan out your courses for the next 4 years. So like for your sophomore year and your junior year. But otherwise, keep college as a secondary and like a very tiny secondary priority. Don't even think about it till your junior year, because honestly, it doesn't matter till then. Nothing you do in your freshman year is going to determine, except your grades, besides your grades, nothing during your freshman year is going to determine your college, like where you get in college, like right there. At that time, just focus on clubs and grades. That's your only two priorities. Time management. One day, you're going to be finding yourself doing an assignment at midnight. It's just fact. One day, you're going to be cramming for a test. One day, you're going to be procrastinating if you haven't already. I'm sure like everyone has. Even if you get away with it in middle school, understand that high school is very, very different, and teachers are a lot stricter. Like, I'm sure you already have middle school teachers being like, oh, high school teachers aren't going to be like this. And yeah, it's true. It's somewhat true. They're not going to give you a lot of chances. There's like a first chance, and then there's no second chance. So honestly, it's freshman year is the time for you to get your crap together and like work towards a better goal. So don't wait till the last minute. Invest in a planner, whether it's online or on paper, so you can get all your homework written down. Get at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep every night, because the studies are true. Sleep can really help. I know it's true because sleep has helped me. And make sure you get your homework done before midnight. Even if you don't want to, future you will definitely thank you, especially when you're in your junior year or your senior year and making college applications. You will be thankful for taking care of yourself. The efforts you put in early on will definitely pay in the future. So this is your time to have like a self-care glow up. And I highly recommend doing so. So that brings me to self-care. The most important step in high school. You need to learn to love yourself. High school can be scary. Okay, that's just the truth of it. It can get stressful. It's a breeding ground for competition, ranks, jealousy, self-esteem issues. It's just a part of being a teenager. You have to be wary of yourself, and you cannot let yourself fall into negative habits. Okay, you're gonna see people around you being like, oh, I only got 2 hours of sleep last night. It's whatever. Oh, I didn't study for this test. It's whatever. Don't feel influenced by them, because you need to understand that these are not good habits. It doesn't mean that it's doing any good for the person who claims to be doing these things and still succeeding. So be prepared to fail. Okay, failure is going to happen somewhere around the road. I know for a fact. And be prepared to succeed too. Both of them are definitely going to happen, and you're going to feel crushed sometimes. And other times you're going to be really, really happy. Okay, be prepared to be both proud of yourself and have some really embarrassing moments that you just want to like bury deep inside yourself. You will laugh, you will cry. You're going to get angry, you're going to laugh, you're going to smile a lot. it's all part of the journey. It's the wonders of being a teen. It's a big roller coaster. Stay strong throughout, and remember that if you're ever struggling, reach out for help from friends or family, and also just like distract yourself if you have to. Like, these 4 years might be a roller coaster, but you are going to make it through, and it's going to be okay. I promise. So that's about it from me. If you guys have any questions, this is the perfect time to ask me. I will literally answer anything. The time right now is 2:06, so I have like a good 20 minutes to answer any questions in depth. So ask away if you want to. Also, you can drop it into chat or you can unmute yourself and ask. Either works.
Can you explain the ACC courses?
Of course, yeah. Okay, so I hadn't mentioned it in this particularly because ACC courses are usually something that happens, I believe it's your junior and senior years. But wait, no, you can do it sophomore year too. So basically, you can start taking ACC courses after your freshman year. And most kids that I know start taking it during the summer. There are three main ACC courses that people take over the summer, and that's going to be U.S. history. You might want to write this down. U.S. history, government, and economics. Those are the three classes that a lot of people take over the summer. Not all at once, just like one course per summer, but it can come handy in the future because the thing about, oh, sorry, I got distracted. Because the thing about ACC courses is that it can replace AP credit. Like, you won't have to take the AP class your junior year. For instance, I have some friends who took US history over the summer during their sophomore year. And so during their junior year, they didn't have to take AP US history. I ended up taking AP US history, and it's like a whole year-long course. So there's a lot involved in it. But if you take it like over the summer, then you can kind of skip through and like take an off period if you need to and stuff.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Any other questions? I'm here to answer. I'm also going to mention something else about ACC classes. This is something in the very, very future, but it's something to keep in mind. Once you become a junior, you're going to have an option to take something called dual credit English, which is basically a high school course done by ACC, which also gives you college credit. It's kind of like AP classes, except no big test at the end. So it really helps you out, if you know what I mean. So you don't need to worry about it right now, but it's important to keep in mind whether you want to take like college courses, like ACC courses or AP classes, because both of them have their advantages and disadvantages. I personally recommend taking AP instead of ACC because to me, I feel like it's easier to get credit if you take an AP class, but it really just depends on the college you go to ultimately.
Can you get like one of your math credits done over the summer, like your science? Like, can you get anything of your like core classes done over the summer?
Core classes, that one's a tricky question because technically, yes, you can get one of your core classes done over the summer. Like if you take, I've had a friend take Algebra 2 over the summer. It wasn't in Texas. It was in a different state overall. But I do know kids who have taken core classes during the summer, whether it's like advance themselves or take an AP class early. In terms of doing that, I'm gonna tell you now, a lot of counselors are gonna straight up be like, don't do it, because the thing about counselors are like they're trying to make you take the safe road. So a lot of them are gonna be like, don't do it. It's gonna be too much pressure on you. But it really is up to you if you feel like you can take a course like that. I know UT Austin has something called UT HighSchool Courses, and it helps you like get a 1-up and get an extra credit in order to if it's to graduate early, or if you want to like go to a higher class like from algebra 2 to pre-calculus. So it's definitely possible. You just have to be wary of what counselors are going to say, because they're going to be against you most likely.
Thank you.
What's the difference between AP and Onramps? Also a very good question. I should probably write this down somewhere, honestly, because there are like 4 different courses that you can take, and that's going to be, AP, IB, ACC courses, and Onramps courses. Again, I know it feels like a lot, but ACC and Onramps are both things you don't deal with until your junior and senior year of high school, which is why I didn't mention it in this presentation, but they're all definitely important. I'll actually put those 4 in the chat right now if you guys want to copy and paste it as notes. Hold up. So that's going to be So those are the 4 classes that you can expect to see sometime during high school. So Onramps classes, what they are is basically they're classes that are offered by UT Austin. I've personally taken one Onramps class before, and it's very differently structured from what you'd expect from a regular class. Because similar to ACC, it gives you college credit like right away, but you're kind of like enrolled in the university at the same time. Like for instance, you get 2 different grades that you can use during college too. So I took something called Onramps pre-calculus last year. And basically what happens is that you get 2 different grades. So you're gonna have 1 grade in home access, and you have another grade on the UT Austin website. And if you pass the class, you can use that credit to like directly put it into UT Austin if you get in. So they'll like directly accept that credit, and you can go into your first semester of college with a 4.0 GPA if you got an A, because it's already calculated into your GPA. So in terms of that, I would recommend taking Onramps classes if you can. You'll most likely have 3 options to take online. UT Austin classes, UT Onramps courses. So that's going to be math, English, and history, I believe. And it's up to you if you want to take it or not, but just know it's very different from regular classes, because these classes really push yourself to work with your entire classroom and like by yourself, and teacher intervention is like very minimal. Like personally, I remember that I worked with like my little table, and we only had like 15 people in the room because it's like a really small amount of people who do Onramps. But you kind of like build a community from that too. And it's honestly rewarding when you like get that college credit, because even if you don't, you can go on a pass-fail route. And it seems confusing at first, I won't lie, but Onramps is definitely another way to challenge yourself, just like an advanced course. Great question again. So I appreciate that.
If you were to like sign up for like different elective courses, but then you also wanted to do a sport, could you like do the elective courses and then like try out? And if you get accepted, can you switch into the sport?
Of course, yeah. I mean, yeah, you can definitely do that because counselors can switch you around in classes because as far as I'm concerned, there's no like limited classes. So say you were to try out for tennis or something, your counselor might originally be like, okay, in case you don't get into tennis, here's your extracurricular. It's gonna be art one, okay. But then say you actually got into tennis and you got the class. What you do is you email your counselor and they'll be like, okay, that sounds good. I'm gonna change your schedule and take out art one and replace it with tennis. And your schedule might be a little bit altered, whether it's like at the beginning of the year or like 2 or 3 weeks into the school year, but they're definitely gonna make sure that you get into tennis if you actually earned it, or like whatever sport you do, they'll make sure that it's in your schedule.
Yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Any other questions? Don't be shy to ask. I'll even answer the stupidest questions, I swear. As long as they're not too stupid, if you know what I mean. Is the schedule in high school a block schedule or is it more like middle school? That's a good question. It depends on the school that you're going to, but if you're in our ISD, like Round Rock, Westwood, McNeil, you're most likely going to have a block schedule. So for me, since I go to Round Rock High School, I have a block schedule and we have something called A days and B days. So basically you have 4 classes per day and it alternates every day, and then it switches around every week. And it might seem kind of confusing at first, which is why during your first couple of weeks, I recommend having your schedule and your A day and B day like written down somewhere so you don't confuse yourself. But then you kind of fall into a habit of going through block scheduling. And honestly, in college, it's somewhat the same. Like they're kind of preparing you for college by doing block scheduling because a lot of college courses are like, okay, this class is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and this class is Tuesdays and Thursdays. So they're just kind of following that same pattern so as to prepare you. Don't be afraid of block classes. In my opinion, I think it's better than having like a regular set course to go through every day because you kind of get a new experience every day because of it.
Okay, I was muted this whole time. I'm kind of crying.
Are you good? Okay then. But as I was saying, that's what block classes are like, and in my opinion, it's great. You'll find a favorite day block class too, so it's all fun and games. Are the on-ramps credit you get at RRHS only accepted only in UT or any university in the US? Good question. Credits that you get from on-ramps is not only accepted from UT, it's actually applicable to, I believe, any college in Texas, but it's not applicable to any college in the US. Like anything that's out of state is not going to accept your on-ramps credit. But if say that you got an A in, I don't know, English, on-ramps English or something, and you want to apply that credit, but you're deciding to go to Texas A&M, you can actually take that on-ramps credit and show it to Texas A&M, and they'll say, okay, cool, you passed. you can have the college credit because it's a Texas school. But if you were to take that credit to like, I don't know, say New York University, they're going to be like, yeah, no, we don't know what this system is. You're going to have to either retake the course, or if you have an AP credit, then you're going to have to, use the AP credit instead, which is why I recommend doing AP credit so much, or IB credit too, because that's what's like universally recognized by colleges. But stuff like Onramps is primarily if you want to stay in state in like a Texas college. I hope that answers the question. Yeah, keep those questions coming, guys. I am really appreciating it. On the meanwhile, I will start. I'll get the link for this presentation so you guys can actually view it for yourself. See if the share settings are on. So that's the slideshow. If you want, you can bookmark it, you can save it, you can make a copy, whatever you need to, and I hope you'll find that helpful. I have 9 more minutes to answer questions. So ask away anything you have, even if your mind is blank right now, just like type in the first thing that comes to your mind and I will answer it. Okay, while I wait for new questions, hopefully if they come in, I'm going to talk a little bit about the difference between advanced classes and regular classes. Because as a freshman, most of your classes are either going to be advanced classes or regular classes, and you get to choose between those two. As I had mentioned before, I personally think it's better to take advanced classes than regular classes, because regular classes are it's a bit slow paced, you can say. It's like there's a big difference between both classes. I personally took regular geometry during my freshman year, and there was a really big difference between what you could expect from regular geometry and what you could expect from advanced geometry. The thing about regular geometry is that there's a lot of people who like often take the class just for the credit. Like they're just looking to graduate, not like as concerned about college. So that kind of lowers the standard for a regular class. That being said, that doesn't mean every regular class is like that. Like I have no disrespect towards regular classes or people who take it. I just believe that a lot of you guys, especially in this chat, can really challenge yourself because you guys have the talent that it takes to challenge yourself and take on that coursework, especially if you want to be prepared for college. What is the difference between advanced classes and AP classes? Great question. So advanced classes, fun fact, they actually used to be called pre-AP classes. That is until the schools had to change it because apparently it's like a copyright issue or whatever. But it's just like what it sounds like. It prepares you for AP classes, basically. It gives you not the same amount of rigor, but it gives you a lot more quick techniques that prepare you well for taking an AP related course. That's what for instance, advanced pre-calculus the whole point of advanced pre-calculus is so you can be ready for AP calculus, AB or BC. But it's just like a way to prepare yourself, which is why if you plan to take AP courses in the future, I definitely recommend taking an advanced course, because like it's like a good metaphor for it is like, you know, dipping your toe into the pool before actually swimming in the pool. It gives you a chance to like kind of get a feel for it and get a feel for how it feels like challenge yourself with something new. That being said, AP classes actually give you college credit, while advanced classes don't. And honestly, colleges see advanced classes as a lot more, AP classes as a lot more impressive than advanced classes. So if you take advanced calculus, okay, that's cool. But if you take AP calculus, they're going to be like, oh my God, this person is trying to challenge themselves, and maybe we should accept them. What is the order of math classes kids taking in school, starting with algebra? Great question. The order is usually you start from algebra 1, usually in middle school, or you can start in high school too. It doesn't really matter. Also keep in mind, you have to pass algebra in high school in order to graduate. So algebra 1, most people do pass it. So after algebra, it's going to be geometry, regular or advanced geometry. After geometry, it is algebra 2. I don't know why they put geometry smack in the middle, but they did. After algebra 2, it's going to be pre-calculus. And after pre-calculus, you have a couple choices, 3 choices actually. You can, after pre-calculus, you can either take something called statistics, or you can take AP Calculus AB, and the highest class you can take is AP Calculus BC. And all 3 have like their own advantages and disadvantages. AP Statistics is a class that's meant for people who might not really prefer maths. Like if they'd rather take like an easier math course, AP Statistics is the way to go. I personally heard that it's really good if you're pursuing something like medicine, because apparently statistics comes in handy when you're doing stuff in the health science field. So good course to take. A lot of people take it with an AP Calculus course. AP Calculus AB and BC are weird names, I know, but they do have like a key difference. AB is the second tier, like the slower version of calculus. Like you have more time to like develop on your math skills, but AP Calculus BC is a combination of AB plus a few extra things. So it's like considered the hardest math class that you can take. So if you're someone who's like trying to go into engineering or computer science, taking BC is probably the best. AP Calc teachers are nice. Yes, that's definitely true. AP Calculus teachers, like my Calc AB teacher this year, just best guy ever. They're like the nicest people in the world. AP Stats is a lot of writing. Yes, yeah, it is. It's a lot of writing, but I heard it's worth it. Okay, I have the same question, but about science. What is the order of science classes? In terms of science classes, it kind of, that's more up to you, honestly. Like there's no actual order. Except during your freshman year, every freshman takes biology, whether they want to or not. So that's like a given. You have to take biology. After that, I know sophomores can either take AP biology or chemistry or both. Taking both is like the challenging route. So if you're up to it, you have to talk to your counselor about it. And it depends on if they recommend it or not. But yeah, after your freshman year, you can start taking AP classes. Usually the order is that you take biology, like regular or pre-AP honors biology, regular or advanced biology during your freshman year. And then the next year you take regular or advanced chemistry. And then during your junior and senior year, you can take AP biology, AP chemistry, or you can take AP physics. Again, it really just depends on whether you want to or not. And yes, those are some of the classes. You are right, Stefan. Like there's AP biology, AP chem, AP physics, there's AP physics 1, AP physics C. There's a lot of AP science classes. Psychology is not considered a science, it's considered a social science. So that's something to keep in mind when you're looking for science classes. But yeah, otherwise, and it's 2:30, guys. Thank you for those questions. I believe that's going to be unless you have more questions, I'm willing to answer them. But yeah, if you have any other questions, I'm willing to answer them, but that concludes our meeting. Thank you for being here and sticking with me throughout the entire meeting. I believe you're at the end. You're allowed to log off now.
Yeah, I think, thanks, Ganga. Thank you very much for the wonderful, the detailed, in-depth, and a colorful presentation here. Yeah, appreciate the all-around approach instead of just focusing on the academics. These are highly valuable knowledge that you share. I'm pretty sure this is very helpful to everyone here. Okay, once again, on behalf of Gamma, thank you for your energy and a great session here.
It was my pleasure.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thanks, y'all. I'll be logging out now. Thank you for coming and sticking with me throughout.